PowerPoint presentation is a professional presentation program that allows the users to create presentation slides. A PowerPoint presentation is a good way to convey pieces of information, usually in the form of an outline, to a large audience. In today's video, we're going to be explaining how to use PowerPoint as well as a few features that can be used to enhance the teaching experience.
So the first step would be to open up the PowerPoint app. And now I'm going to sign in using my university email. And so first it prompts you with a few themes that you could use and some of your previous Microsoft slides. So these are a few of my slides that were used in lectures by my professors. So I had opened them recently. You can go to more themes and it gives you multiple options. So you can choose whatever fits the presentation that you're going to use. But for now, we're going to just use a blank template. So in today's video, I'll be explaining all of the features on the Home tab, then the Insert, Design, and then later on I'll get into animations and transitions. So in the Home tab, you're immediately shown with the first page of your presentation. This is the default page. You can add more. So there's two ways to add more. You can right click on the left side column and say new slide, and it just inputs a new slide for you. Or another way would be to press insert a new slide or new slide right here. So you can choose the type of slide that you want, picture, content with caption, blank slide, etc. And since this is the first page of the slide, it contains only a header with a small description. So we can say that this is biology is the first slide. And we can edit this using the text document text formatting tool. So we have all of these options, which is quite similar to Word and Excel. So it has all these assorted options that you could use. Text sizes can be changed, text color, underline color, highlight, all of that is there. So these are just very basic formatting tools, so you can do whatever you like with it. So right now I'll make it bold and underlined. So yeah. And then, so now below this I could put maybe the course code. So yeah, so you can do whatever you want. It doesn't necessarily have to be a title. Whatever, if you want to directly start off with content, you can start that off. All you have to do is just delete this box and fill in whatever else you'd like. So now these sections, font and paragraph, they're all the text formatting tools. So here, once we're typing, it'll automatically give you a bullets option to write in points, but you can just write whatever you want, doesn't matter. So I'm just going to so if this is our second slide and this is our text, then you can do all the various types of formatting. So you can make it points, this is different alignment, making it a list, and so on. Now what you can do here is these are drawings, so you can add in any type of shapes or basic arrows or equation shapes like this. So maybe if I insert a picture, then I can just create an arrow that will point at something of that. Or if I see this is an important point, so say this is an important point, and I want to make sure that it's visible to everyone, then I can do that. And I can just shift this arrow to point at it. So these are just all aesthetic tools, basically to make it more simple and make it easier for people to look at. Here we have editing tools for the shape. So if we do put like a square, it takes us to the shape format. So these are all shape fill, outline, effects, anything of that sort. Here again, we have find and replace. So these are again tools. So if you want to find the word magna, you just go ahead and type magna and say find, and it finds us here. Find next, it finds the next one, and so on. Replace means find magna and replace it with yes. And then you can say find and then replace all. So it says here PowerPoint has searched your presentation and made 2 replacements. So as you can see, magna used to be here, and now it says yes. So in the home tab, that's pretty much all that you can do with these tools. And now we'll be going on to the insert tab. So before going to the insert tab, I thought design would be a good tool to understand. Design just lets you format your document better and gives you a design that you could use as a background. So as you can see, there's multiple design variants that you can use. And you can choose whatever you think is appropriate to the current topic that you're talking about. So here, I think this looks quite nice, so I can use it here, and it automatically formats the text as well. So it changes the font color, changes the font style, it changes your home page, as you can see. So these are just pre-built templates, which makes it look nicer without you having to put much effort into formatting everything yourself. And under each theme, you can choose a different variant. So this is one variant, this is another, this is another. And if you push the drop down menu, you get all the options, the different color schemes that you like, and so on. So if I like this one, I can go for this. I say I like this one, and it automatically changes the rest of your tabs. So this design tool is very good in choosing a theme, and it will edit the entire PowerPoint. So even if you have, say, 20 slides, it edits everything for you. Now we'll go on to insert. So the first 2 tools are, of course, insert a new slide. So you can add the type of slide that you like. You can reuse a slide. So if I want to reuse it from somewhere from before, I can. And then inserting a table. So first I'll insert a new slide to add this table. And I'll just say that it's title and content. And I'll delete this text box because I don't need it. And now I'll insert a table. So first I can choose the dimensions of the table. I want it to be a 4x3. And once you select the table, it automatically opens up the table design tools. So here again, you can choose the theme of your table. I think this theme matches the current theme of the entire slideshow. So I'm going to choose this. And as usual, you can just enter whatever you like into any of these. So all you have to do is 1, 2, 3. So now you can add in whatever data you want on the table without any difficulty. It's quite simple. So the table design, you can choose these colors, you can choose word art styles. The layout of the table is if you want to edit it. So if I select these 2 tabs, I can merge the cells, split the cells. These are all very simple features, so I won't be getting into it too deeply. But these tables do have the same tools that Microsoft Excel does. So whatever Excel features have, other than the calculations and so on, you can use them. So the features like merging cells, changing colors, all of those, it follows the same rules as Excel. So that would help you in understanding how to use this more effectively. So the next thing is pictures. So in this, you can choose pictures from this device, stock images or online pictures, whichever one that you feel like. An easy way is you can also directly copy paste a picture from online. So if I open Google Chrome and I want to say coronavirus, since this is a biology paper, and I go to images, and let's say this is a picture that I want in my presentation. So I can just right click, say copy image. So you can save the image and then upload it, but the simpler way would just be to copy it, open your PowerPoint presentation, and then go ahead to say paste and paste the picture option. And you automatically have the picture here. So if you want to keep the formatting of the picture the same as it is, only use the corner to change its size, because then it keeps the ratios of the side and the length the same. Because if you do this, then it kind of distorts the image. So that's a simple way of inserting a picture, even though you have these options for your old pictures, but the copy paste, I believe, is the simplest picture. So next you can go to screenshots. This is also a simple feature where you upload a screenshot from that's on your laptop. You can use that. Photo album is very similar to pictures. It's just images that are already on your computer. These are very, very interesting tools because they can be used to do a variety of things. So shapes are just generic shapes. It's the same as the shapes tool on the home page. So this tool right here, drawing these shapes, it's exactly the same. So if you want to add anything like arrows or like your basic shapes, you can add any of those. Icons are also just for aesthetic purposes. If you see anything that would be appropriate to your presentation, you can just go ahead and choose it from here. Icons, cutout images, stickers, and so on. The next will be 3D models, which I think for a teacher to make it interesting for your students is quite cool, because these images are these models are very, very interesting to look at. So since we're doing biology, I'll choose anatomy. And as I'll say, we can choose the lungs. And so you can press insert. And this is a pretty complex 3D model, so sometimes it does take longer based on the image, but this is quite simple. And I'll just delete this so you can see this properly. And so this is a 3D model of a lung. You can rotate it in any way, and you can also rotate it in a 3D scale. So it's a very cool representation. I think students would appreciate this and they'd be quite fascinated to see these in a presentation. So I definitely recommend using models like this in your presentations if you can, because they are quite interesting to look at, and the features that this shows is quite good. So the next will be charts. Charts, we've covered them in multiple other Microsoft softwares, so we'll quickly run through it. You can choose different charts based on what data you're trying to represent. So you have multiple column pie charts, maps, surfaces, radars, etc. So we'll just choose column for now, and we'll choose this one, so 3D stack. And once this gets inputted here, you can access all the data through an Excel sheet. So this Excel sheet, whatever data you want to change, you can. So if I want to change category to just 3.0, it updates it here. And however you want it, you can. Since I don't have any data that I'm particularly concerned about, I think it's enough here. And you can change the size and scaling yourself. And just like that, you have a chart. So if you do have any data, all you have to do is input it in the Excel sheet. And that's all that you have to do. If you do close the Excel sheet and you want to open it up again to change the data type, then you go to edit data and it opens it up again, and you can change it. You can change the names, you can change categories, whatever you like. So the next thing will be the text box. So text box is basically if you have an empty page and you just want to start writing something anywhere, all you have to do is go ahead, press text box and click where you'd like to start writing. So here, and you can choose the size, whatever you like. And then all you have to do is just start typing whatever you want. So biology is important for daily life. Well, it doesn't matter. All I'm trying to show here is that this text tool allows you to put in a text box anywhere you like, and all you have to do is press it and you can edit again. Another very helpful feature in Microsoft Excel is it shows you alignment. So I'm going to paste the picture that I had from before. And as you can see, when you move these around, it gives you alignment options. So right now, I want to align this text box. So I'm going to make this small so it makes it easier. I want to align this with the edge of my title, which is bio. So I want to align this with the edge. And as you can see, when I bring it to the edge, it automatically lines it up with the edge of the title. If I want to center it, then it automatically centers it with the screen and it centers it with the image. So I'm lining it up here. If I want to line this up against the edge as well, it gives you a line on the side just as a reference point. If I want to line it up with the center of the screen, as you can see, it goes up all the way, and that's the center of the screen. So it just gives you multiple alignment options and reference lines so that you can format it in the way that you want to show it, which is very helpful, and it's not present on a lot of apps. So this is definitely a feature that you should use to your advantage. The next insert function will be equation. And a lot of teachers usually don't use word processors like Microsoft Word or PowerPoint because it's very hard to display a complex equation without the proper formatting tools. It's very difficult to write it down in a way that students can understand it and in a way that teachers want to show it. And so what teachers usually end up doing is that they will take a digital whiteboard or a drawing application and they'll write down the equation with their mouse, or if they have a touchscreen device, they will use a stylus or their finger. And the reason that's not effective is because a lot of teachers aren't used to that. So the equation is not always clear for the students to see. So for that reason, we do have the equation option in Microsoft applications, which allows you to insert an equation, complex equations of your choice. So as you can see here, there are multiple equations that are already predefined, so you can choose one of these. Or if you want, you can just go ahead and directly press on equation, and it gives you an option here. So now what I'd like to do is make an equation which is x is equal to the square root of a by b. So right here I can select this equation and say x is equal to, and I want to write square root of ab. So I can go to equation here and it gives me multiple options. So it can first give me all the basic math tools, icons, so different constant, different symbols that I can use. And here are all the assorted functions that I'd like to show. So if I have a fraction, I can do that here. So here, right now I want square root of AB. So first I'll choose radical. I press radical right there. And then I select this and I can say fraction. And now I want A by B. And that was quite simple to do. You can change the size. You can change the font size. So we can increase the size here, so it's visible to the students. And using equation tools, you can make how many ever complex equations that you'd like. So you can have integrals, summations, brackets, like any sort of complex equations can be created using this tool. So it's quite effective for mathematics teachers, physics teachers, chemistry teachers, wherever an equation is required. This makes it quite easy, and it makes it very clear since it's not a handwritten drawing, it's a properly generated equation. So under Insert tab, we only have three more things, which are media. So you can insert a video, which it can be an online video or a video from this PC. So if you have a video already on your laptop, you can upload one of those. Or if you go to online video, all you have to do is insert the URL of your YouTube video and it will automatically display it on it. So I can show you how to do that right now. So I'll go to YouTube and say biology. And we'll go to this video.
Hello
And now what we're going to do is first we'll have to get rid of the...
students, we are very excited to announce that CoPrep live online coaching.
So now we have the video that we want, and all we have to do is right click, copy the video URL, and we'll go ahead and paste it here. And so this is the URL now, and you say insert. And PPT will open up this document, and right now we have a video here. So you can place this, and when you're presenting the slides, all you have to do is press it, and it plays the video directly from the internet. So it's a very simple feature, but it's quite effective because it's better than having to go in the middle of a class, just like I did, and opening up YouTube and finding the correct video. So instead, you can have it directly on your PPT. So it's very helpful in that case. Next, you have audio, which is the same way. All you have to do is you can have an audio from your PC, or you can record audio from your own microphone. Whatever you think is better, you can use those two options. And then there's screen recording, which would all you do with screen recording is you press it, it minimizes the screen. You can choose, say, I want this portion of the screen. Right now, I don't have anything open, but maybe you have a tutorial like this, and you just want to record your screen and play it back during the presentation. Then you just select the portion of the screen you'd like. If you didn't select it properly, you can press it again, select the whole screen, and then you can record with or without audio, and so on. You have multiple of these options. So that covers everything under the Insert tab. The next two features will be transitions and animations. So transitions refers to how the slides change between one another. So when switching from the first to the second slide, you can choose different transitions. So there are multiple transitions and multiple effects. We won't be going through all of them because they're basically graphics. So you can choose. We'll choose maybe a simple one. So let's say origami. So this one is origami. The next one is a clock, and the third one can be random bars. And so now if we go ahead and start the slideshow, as you can see, as you progress through, it carries out every animation that we chose. So transitions are very simple. You can add a sound here. These don't really matter per se, but you can add whichever one that you see fit. So maybe for the second one, I'll add a sound of a breeze. And now when we started, so that's the sound that comes in. I personally don't use any of these much, but if you think the sound is appropriate for your presentation, you can definitely use it. You can choose the duration of your sound, and so on. The next is animation. Animation is basically regarding the different things on your screen. So in each slide, there are multiple. So this title would be bio. So in each slide, there are multiple objects. So here we have this title text box, and we have the paragraph here, and I'll just insert this picture here as well. So I'll copy this picture and I'll paste it right here. So now we have three things on this page. So what we can do now is we select this, we go to animation, and then you can say fly in. So that's the first one. As you can see, it's numbered here. And the second one, we'll make it this text box. And this one opens up using a shape. As you can see, and these arrows will have these moved to right there. And now the arrows can also use the animation at the same time. So we say this flies in, this also flies in. And then we'll put this one as a random bar effect. So these are just animations for when you're going through the slide, and I'll show you how it looks right now. So this was the first page, and now when we switch to the next page, this was only one click of the mouse. So now if I click it again, it will show us the title using the animation, as you could see. And now it opens up the next paragraph. And I'm clicking this every single time based on the numbers that we had assigned previously. And that's how it works. That's how it would appear. So based on every click, based on the number, so first one would be the title, two would be the first paragraph, three the second, four would be the last paragraph, and then the two arrows and the picture. So this just is all aesthetic value. It just shows you how it'll look. If you'd like to make the PPT more attractive and more interesting to the students so that they don't get bored, or so that it just looks nicer, then animations are definitely something that you'd like to do. So these are all very important and good tools should you want to make your animations much more interesting. Now finally we have the slideshow, which is basically a simple tool that you can just press to start your slideshow. So since we have 3 slides, if you want to start, you can just start from the beginning. It just starts the slideshow right away. A shortcut would be on the top left, right here, this button, which means start from the beginning. So it just starts the slideshow from the beginning. The shortcut key would be to press F5, function 5 button at the top of your keyboard. Once you press that, it automatically starts the slideshow. If we're on the second page and we want to start from here, you can press this button or Shift F5 and automatically starts on the page that you've already selected. And then there are multiple options of presenting online, which is not necessary because most of the time people will be presenting their screen on a Google Meet or a Google Meet or a Zoom call. So this is not very necessary for us. You could rehearse the timings, you could record the slideshow. So whatever slideshow you go through, you record it. It'll also record the mic audio. So that'll also be very helpful. This is if you have multiple monitors connected to your laptop and you're presenting it to an audience which are physically in front of you. You can choose which monitor you want. And that covers everything under the slideshow. So with that, we've covered all the features and functions of PowerPoint presentation. We've gone over home, the different font formatting tools, adding slides, adding shapes, find and replace. Under insert, we've gone through the tables, pictures, charts, 3D models, which were quite important for an interesting class, especially equations, which are also quite important for teachers. Under design, it's the theme of your entire project, and under each different theme, you get different variants. Under transitions, it's about between each slide, how it changes, and you have many multiple options. And I do encourage you to try these out on your own to find out what you would prefer on your slideshow. Then we have animations, which are for individual pieces of information, so individual paragraphs, pictures, arrows, and so on. And the slideshows are the basic tools. So with that, we will be ending the PowerPoint presentation tutorial. I do hope everything was easy to understand and it helps you while you're conducting classes in these trying times. If you do have any doubts or concerns, please leave it in the comment section below. And with that, thank you for watching the video, and I hope you have a good day.